Hi, sixth graders. If you are watching this video, you have found our today's folder, which was in that week of September 14th to the 18th, and then found today's folder Monday, September 14th. And then the video that you're watching right now is going to be right here at the top. I have to record it first, though. That's why it's not there in this video. Then I would like you to fill out, when you're done watching this video, which is kind of all about me, also a little bit of instructions, I would like you to fill out this school supplies Google form. It's really important that whatever you have been bringing to school, you let me know on this Google form with a simple yes or no. Like it will say markers and you say yes or no, and it says a notebook for social studies and you say yes or no. We will use that information as your teachers to get you the things that you don't have yet or connect with your adults at home to see what you still need. After you do the Google form for the school supplies, I would like you to do this check-in with Miss Lee. These are things I like to do every once in a while just to make sure that things are going okay. Sometimes it's easier to communicate through a form like this than coming up to me and saying, you know, this is not working or I'm having trouble here. So we'll do these every once in a while just to see how you're doing. But before that, I am going to do a real quick presentation all about me. So this is all about Miss Lee. We are going to be spending a ton of time together this year, and it's really important to me that you know a little bit about who I am as we learn and grow together. So the basics, this is my 8th year teaching at Sauk Rapids Rice Middle School. It's the only place that I've been a teacher. I taught 6th grade special ed for 3 years. I did like language arts, reading, things like that. And then I taught 1 year in 8th grade social studies. That was world studies. So we talked about different places all around the world. And then finally, this is my 4th year teaching 6th grade social studies, and I absolutely love it. My birthday is in July. I was born and raised in Sauk Rapids, and I went to middle school and high school at Sauk Rapids Rice. I'm a very proud Storm family member, have been my entire life. As I told you guys on Friday with my 9/11 story, I actually went to high school in the building that we're in now for middle school for 3 years, my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And then I was the first class to graduate from the new high school. And then finally, I went to St. Cloud State University for my undergrad, where I got my degree in social studies education. And then I just finished my master's degree at Concordia University, which is located in St. Paul, but I did all the schooling online. My family is incredibly important to me. I was raised by my mom and my dad. That's these two people here. I have an older sister. Her name is Josie, and her partner's name is Jesse, and they have Simon and Dominic. And then I have an older brother. His name is Nick, and his partner is Nicole, and they have a baby girl, Lincoln, who just turned 1 on September 4th. My husband, Matt, right here. We've been married for, it will be 9 years on October 1st. Then we have Tyler, who graduated this last year from Sauk Rapids Rice High School. We have Theo right here. He is in 3rd grade, and then Carly is in 1st grade. And then I also have 3 brother-in-laws. My husband is one of 4 boys, and through that family, I have 2 nieces and 5 nephews. My one and only pet is Kubel Franklin Lee. He is a Springer Spaniel. He's 14-ish, and I say that because we got him from the Humane Society in 2009, and he was about 3 then. He's incredibly spoiled and sometimes annoying. So here you see he and I in our yard, and then over here is him cuddling with Carly, and Theo's back there doing homework. That was during distance learning. This face is the face he makes when you're eating. Peaks and Pits 2020 edition. So we all go through things that are really, really great and really, really devastating. And unfortunately this year, my highs have been really, really high, but my lows have been really, really low as well. When COVID hit back in March and we all kind of quarantined, I was just super excited because it allowed me to spend extra time with my family. We took COVID really seriously with my dad's health, so we spent very little time doing anything other than being with my my parents and my sister and my brother. So that was actually a peak for me, getting to spend extra time there. A pit was that we ended the 2019-2020 school year in distance learning. It was not fun, I don't think, for anyone. It was brand new for everyone. And it was just something that we all had to get through together. I did have awesome students, and obviously my awesome team that is the same this year really helped, but it was still not the best. Another peak that I had this year was, like I told you guys a little bit before, I graduated with my master's degree from Concordia University in St. Paul. For 2 years, every Tuesday night, myself and Mr. Ostendorf, who's right across the hallway from us, would do classes, and I graduated with my master's degree in June. The biggest pit of my year, and probably will be the biggest pit for hopefully a long time, was that on July 17th of this year, my dad died. It's been really hard. I was really close to my dad, and there are going to be moments this year that it hits me. So I think you guys need to know that that's still really fresh for me, and that it's okay to have emotion, even as a teacher, and even in a school setting. Sometimes just the little things remind us of some really great memories. And then my last peak that I'm going to share with you is that I get to come back to the school building for this school year. As I said, one of my pits was that we had to end the school year in distance learning. And I was really, really excited to come back to the school, even if it doesn't look exactly the same. I was excited to see smiling faces. I was excited to see my friends, and I was excited to do what I love. My hobbies, I love watching sports with my family. My husband and I love all the professional sports. We watched the Vikings today. Unfortunately, they lost, but we watched the Twins also, and they won. And then I love going to storm events. Football games, we obviously won't have them this year, but you will definitely see me at them next year or in the spring if that's when we do them. I love going to basketball games. I love going to the play, which I know that's not a sport, but it's a storm event. And I love spending time with my family, whether that be my immediate family, like my kids, or my extended family on every Sunday night. So we actually just came home from it about an hour ago. I go to my mom's house. She lives about 2.5 blocks away, and we have Sunday night supper with me and my siblings. And then I love reading, not as much as Miss Johnson, but I love fiction books. My favorite author is an author named Harlan Coben. He does kind of mystery, kind of thriller books. That's also Miss Johnson's favorite authors, or one of them. And then nonfiction, anything history or anything teaching related. Favorite vacations and dream vacations. I know we're not thinking these a lot because of COVID, but my favorite vacations, I have two that come to my brain right away, is my summer after my senior year. I went to Washington, D.C. and Virginia, and it really just solidified the fact that I wanted to be a history teacher. And then a couple Junes ago, my husband, Matt, and I went to San Francisco and Sebastopol. This picture was in San Francisco, the famous Fisherman's Wharf. We had some delicious seafood. And then we went up the coast to a little town called Sebastopol. That's where my Uncle Keith, my mom's brother, and my Uncle Pat live. This is a little restaurant near their town. And then this is actually a redwood tree that's in their, not quite in their backyard, but pretty darn close, that we took a picture in front of. So those are my two favorites. And then my dream vacations would be Europe. I would love to go to Europe someday, someplace tropical. And then I hope to get my husband to Nashville sometime soon because he loves country music. My favorites, as you probably had already figured it out, my favorite drink is Diet Coke. My favorite subject is social studies, always has been. My favorite foods are either pizza or Chinese food. My favorite movie is A Time to Kill. It's about a legal case down in the South in like the 80s or the 90s. My favorite place to eat is Mongo's, and my favorite music is really all music. I love going to concerts. So I sped through that kind of fast because I didn't know how much my timer was. Okay, my favorite place to eat is Mongo's, but I hardly ever get to go there because my husband doesn't really like it. So every once in a while I have to convince him that we should go. Some of the concerts that I've been to, my very first concert ever was Paul McCartney. He was one of the Beatles. And if you don't know who the Beatles are, we'll have to have that conversation on Tuesday or Thursday, depending on if you're a green student or a gold student. I've been to Florida Georgia Line a couple times. They're really good. The Zach Brown Band put on a really good concert. A lot of the concerts I've been to are country concerts because, like I said, my husband loves country. But I definitely, if I can go to a concert, I'd go, I think. I just love live music. Okay, so that was my super fast all about me. And I did it super fast just so you guys didn't have to spend a whole ton of time watching it. But if you ever have questions, there's actually a spot for you to even ask me questions in our survey. So now that you've watched this video, you're going to go back into Schoology. As I said, I want you to fill out this Google form. And since I have time, I'll just show you. Sixth graders, whenever you get this sad face, up in the top right hand corner should be this little button. It's like a square with an arrow. That's just telling you, or that's just you telling the device to send it to Safari. I think most of you have known that, especially if you've used Schoology before, but just so you know. So this is your school supplies. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it's really important that we kind of get a understanding of what school supplies you have and what you don't. Just your first name and your last name. Remember, our cores go in order. If you get this wrong, it's not a big, like if my at-home students, if you get this wrong, it's not a big deal. I'll have your first and last name that I can do that. And it says the following questions, simply answer yes or no if you brought these materials to school. Now, obviously, if they're still in your backpack and they're at home right now, still say yes because they're coming back to school, right? If you answer no, we'll connect with you and see if we need to help you get those materials, okay? So headphones or earbuds, notice they cannot be Bluetooth. They have to be the ones you plug in. Then we have pencils, pens, highlighters, color pencils, and I just took this list directly off the school supply list that you got sent home last year or earlier this summer or sometime this summer that was on our website, that was at Target and Walmart, all those things. So you just click or yes or no. Notice down here I say a folder for language arts, a folder for a notebook for language arts, a folder for science. So you should have a folder for language arts, folder for science, a folder for social studies, and a folder for math. So you should have 4 separate folders, okay? If you don't, one of those, like if you have 3 folders, click yes for 3 of them and no for the last one so we can help you get another folder if we need to help you, okay? Then the last thing that I want you to do today is this check-in with Miss Lee. Again, it's probably going to give us that error message, so we're going to send it out to Schoology. And I like to do these kind of as much as possible. I would say at least once a month, but sometimes I'm bad at getting them out to you guys. I just like to check in with you guys and see how things are going. So you have your first and your last name. Again, that core, try and get it correct, but don't worry about it. So a couple questions about how you're feeling today and about school so far, and you kind of rate it, but then you tell me why as well. Favorite part and least favorite part of last week. Tell me something you did this weekend. What is one thing you worry about? Sixth graders, both the favorite parts of the week and the one thing you worry about, that can be school related or non-school related. Who do you talk to about school at home? Are there any questions you have for me? And again, that can be school related or non-school related. It can be something about that I said about in the all about me as I sped through that, or you can ask me a question about school. And then finally, is there anything else you want me to know or think I should know? So as your teacher, what things do you think I need to know all about you? Okay. If you have any questions at home learners, please feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you online tomorrow and then in person on Wednesday. Have a great rest of your Monday, sixth graders.